Good morning from USA, just a New York studio. My name is Kumar Rakesh. I am from Global Governance News. I'm just going to be some inputs for US election today, 4th November. Today, US time, 12:40 p.m. And tomorrow, it is by evening, election will be completed. Of the 3 pages of US election, I have traveled many states. But now I'm going to introduce you the very senior politician of US, Mr. Zoe Penacio, and Mr. Jigasa, who will just throw a light on the US election, how US election is going on. This is only a matter of 48 hours and less than 48 hours. So, Mr. Senator Joy, how do you think, analyze the election complete phases?
Well, I think former President Trump will become President Trump on January 20th. He's in a very good position. The strength that the Democrats have always had in the past is the early voting and the voting by mail. Republicans have basically matched them on that. From all indication, the metrics show us that of all the people that are early voting, 41% are Democrats, but 40% are Republicans. For instance, we had a race for governor in New Jersey a number of years ago, where the governor, the Republican candidate for governor, lost by 80,000 votes. But early voting showed that Democrats had gotten 86% of those votes. So we have basically taken what was the past, and now we're able to show the country that Republicans can do lockstep, march in step with early voting and get half of that. And that's important because Republicans historically have always come and vote on the day of election. So almost half of the country has already voted, and we're hoping that once we get that Tuesday election done, that the vast majority of those people will vote for Donald Trump.
So just how just you what I have seen so many survey in the newspaper as well as in TV channels. That survey last 3 days, it has been showing Mr. Trump is ahead. Someone say 1%, someone say 2% and 3%. The different type of survey, political survey, and just so what is your inputs and analysis acute as a Republican? You will say Trump will win, should win. Okay, but how do you analyze on the core issue? Which are the issues where persons should vote Trump?
Well, the major issues have always been the economy and the border and inflation. And on that, former President Trump, leads by double digits over Vice President Harris. So as far as the issues that are important to the American public, as a matter of fact, 75% of the American public thinks that the country is going in the wrong direction. You don't reelect a vice president and make her president when 75% of the public thinks that we're going in the wrong direction, Kumar.
Okay. So I just also one issue. I'll just take the Jigasa, how the Indian community are just playing a role in this election. First time they are so aggressive. Most of the Indian community have just came through. They are going for Trump. So what is the main reason you think Indian community are just praising Trump rather than Kamala Harris?
Well, so from what I know, and I'm communicating with Indian community,
Yeah.
and they see when the President Trump was president, the economy was better. As you see now, after his term, the inflation has gone high. So the safety of the country. So a lot of Indian community are more concerned about the economy of the country. Like right now, everything is high. So more community are more leaning towards President Trump because of the country safety. I have had so many people call me up saying, Jigarbai, look what happened with Democrat over there, all the border issues and the economy issue. So now economy has been bad, the inflation is very high. So that's what more concern in the Indian community is right now. And his friendly relation with the Indian government also. So a lot of Indian community feels that how he was friendly and working together with India as a country also. So a lot of Indian community people are more looking for the economy, safety of the country, a lot of illegal migrants and all that, and also the relation between President Trump and Prime Minister Modi.
Okay, so Mr. Senator, just you think the tweet from Mr. Trump about Hindu communities either in Bangladesh, either in America. Just he is pro, but there is no statement from Madam Kamala Harris about the Hindu communities, global Hindu community. What do you think? What is your analysis?
As far as what the Hindu community and the concerns that you have relative to the rest of the country. I mean, the Asian Indians have assimilated very well to the American community. So their issues, their global issues, quite frankly, are no different than the global issues of every American. They want to make sure their kids get educated. They want to make sure that they don't have to spend 20% more after 3 years on groceries than they did before, that it costs twice as much to fill your gas tank up as it did before. And they look at TV and they see millions of undocumented illegal immigrants coming across the border, 20 million. And when they come across the border, they're being fed, they're being housed, and that's all feeding inflation. It's all taking money out of their pockets because they wind up paying in taxes to pay for them. As far as some of the other issues that you mentioned, whether it's Bangladesh or those particularly geopolitical issues, they have not come up because they don't make, even though they're very, very important issues, but those are more local issues to the Asian Indian community and their focus, back home and back in India. But as far as the concerns that they have, again, no different, Kumar, than any other American citizen, any other person living in this country. We all are the same.
Okay, but just you see the community wise, but somebody is saying, just as I've gone by 5-6 states, Mr. Trump is arrogant, but Kamala Harris is soft. What do you think?
Well, she has yet ever to have the press conference. So from my view, you don't have press conference. You're afraid of answering questions. You're afraid because press conference is a two-way street. If you don't answer the question, the reporter will challenge you again. You haven't answered the question. So she's tried to do that. The first time 4 years ago when Biden ran, they kept him in the basement, and because of COVID, they were able to do that. They have not been able to do that now. So the American people are a lot smarter than the Harris campaign is giving them credit for. They see that when it comes to the major issues, she hasn't addressed them. And worse, she's been duplicitous in causing the pain that the American public is feeling. She was at the helm when 20 million illegal immigrants came into the country, and she's been at the helm with President Biden when we've seen prices go up 20% in the grocery store and double the price of gasoline. So you don't put that person in a higher position when they failed the previous 4 years of their governorship.
Okay, so just Ms. Jigas, how just you see just you're living in Parsippany and also active political worker from the Republican Party, and just how the voting pattern is that. So do you think, I'll also ask Mr. Joy, Mr. Senator, about the voting pattern and percentage, but Jigas, how just you see involvement, and there is any increase of voting percentage from Indian community?
Now, I see a lot more. As a matter of fact, I had just received. I'm sorry, Senator.
No, I wanted you to explain exactly what you were looking for. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Please.
because I see a lot more Indian community. As a matter of fact, when I was on my way to the office, people were calling me up, Jigar, by who do we vote for? Like, Republican Party and all. So the thing is, Indians are getting involved more and more. If you see, a year goes by, the more and more community people. You see so many Indian people. As a matter of fact, the other day in Edison, they had done a gathering over there for Republican community. And so more and more Indian communities are getting involved, taking interest in the politics and participating in. But as I said before, the community is more concerned about the inflation, as Senator Panache was saying. The economy is bad right now. The people are concerned about their wallet. And when President Trump was there as a president, the country was in a better shape and all that. So I think community, yes, I see a Indian community involved, getting more and more involved and participating for a while now.
That's a good point just you made. Yeah, Mr. Joey Panacho, just how just analyze the voting pattern for Indian as well as the American communities in present election.
Well, again, there's very few dissimilarities between the two. We haven't even touched on the social issues, but again, these kids go to school, and the Asian Indian parents are just as upset as any other American parent that these kids are being indoctrinated with stuff that goes against their traditional values. women disguised as men playing in women's sports, potentially hurting these other women and these other girls. That's not an American value. Being taught all sorts of inappropriate material at a very young age, and yet if we complain about it, then somehow we're the ones that are wrong. We're either homophobic, misogynistic, or xenophobic. And quite frankly, a lot of people are tired of that. We want for our children no different than what our parents wanted for us, and that goes for the Asian Indian community as well. Because your traditional values, although couched in a very Hindu way, are really not that much dissimilar from American values. And that's in my view. That's one of the reasons that Asian Indians have been able to assimilate so very, very well into our culture.
So just very, very, very nicely answered you the question, but I was trying to put some plus question on that. Maximum 5 to 7 minutes. I'll take more. So Jigasa, what is my question is both of you? What is the similarity between India and America on the values and the economy nowadays in present circumstances?
Well, India, as an Indian community, as between Democrat Party and Republican Party, I can explain you. Indians are very conservative people. Republican Party views are very much of Indian community. But if you look at past history, any community you look, whether people are Italians or any other community, when they come to this country, they automatically join Democrat, not knowing the difference in the party.
Yeah.
As the more and more people getting educated, they're learning the Indian community's views are very much, and I always tell Indian community, if I have a time and spend time with Indian community, I guarantee you at least 90-95% will become Republican. The reason is because our views, Republican views, look, when I started as a Democrat, and Senator Panaccio knows in 2007, I became Republican. Okay, in 2009, 2010, I switched to Republican. But we learn more, right? As original first generation, everybody thinks they are Democrat. But if you look at the views of Republican Party and the views, real views of Indian community is very much like a Republican. And that is one of the reasons Indian community, Hindu community are more and more involved, getting more and more. If you even talk to the new young generation that's coming from India also, they will tell you they are more Republican. Because Indian community is a very hardworking community. They earn their money, okay? They're not looking for free money. Indian communities are working hard, and so the Republican community says, if you're making money, you keep the money. And that's, so, and all the conservative views and everything. So that's one of the reasons Indian community is growing faster into Republican Party.
And I think it's also important to say, Kumar, that we are in a very transformative part in our history relative to parties. The Democrat Party has become the party of elites. They're more concerned with Wall Street and Silicon Valley and making sure that their Hollywood friends are at their rallies as opposed to the Republican Party. The Republican Party now is a blue-collar party. And you could see that in the numbers. It's not only Asian Indians, but the Hispanic Americans, which make up probably one of the largest voting blocs in this country now. You can see that Donald Trump and his policies of putting America first and making sure that we are taken care of before we take care of the rest of the world. You can see that's resonating with them. You can see that up to 25% of traditionally Black males, which has been overwhelmingly Democrat, at least in my lifetime, they're going to be voting for Donald Trump this time. So that message of being a working class party is resonating with these groups and all other groups. So that's why I think Donald Trump is going to wind up winning.
Sorry, I think Mr. Senator Joey, how just you find the difference, as Mr. Jigasa also narrated, what is the difference between Democrat and Republic? But as a just seasoned politician, senior politician of US, just how do you know for major 3 points, 1, 2, 3, how better is Republican than Democrats?
Well, we think they have better public policy. You can't ask Kamala Harris that because she refuses to answer that question. She was just asked, she gets voted in California. There's a bill on the docket because right now, if you rob less than $1,000, it's considered a misdemeanor. and all these people, all these stores are being robbed because as long as you keep the threshold under $1,000, you get a citation. You don't go to jail. So when they asked her, will she support as part of a proposition to overrule that, she didn't even want to answer that question. So something as simple as how she just recently voted, she's refusing to answer that question. And that goes to the core of why we should be having this election in the first place. It's all about public policy. And Kamala Harris refuses to answer that question. And Donald Trump and J.D. Vance have gone out of their way to have conversations with anybody that wants to have it. I think the American public has sort of caught on, and they're going to wind up picking Donald Trump and J.D. Vance over Kamala Harris. So if nothing else, by default, because they really, at this stage, aside from her laughing and her cackling, they really don't know who she is and what she will do for the American public. My view, take a look at what she's done with Joe Biden the last 4 years, and you're going to wind up getting the same thing.
So Jigar sir, I think you must be agree with Mr. Joe comment, whatever he just made on the Democrats, as well as just a very aggressive comment, just a staunch Republican. Do you agree with that?
Oh, yes. Senator Panaju explained very well about the party. And as I said, when Republican Party is there, as I said previously, they say you work hard, you keep the money, right? And they also are looking more for security and the safety of the countries. And so there's so many economies gets better. And they're looking more to generate the businesses and economy growing. Where there was no safety, the violence was high with the Democratic Party and everywhere. If you look at California and everywhere, so look at the disaster that's happening, right? There's more homeless people and everything happening. When President Trump was there and Republican Party views are very much different. And
so nicely, just the last question to Mr. Senator Joy. How just you visualize the symmetry, that my question is unanswered, from India and America? How just 3 points to both are similar way on the same path.
How do I visualize our relationship going forward?
Relationship, as well as the economic status, as well as the political situation and condition. We have the Mr. Narendra Modi here. They are in India. Here, Mr. Trump and Kamala Harris. So just somebody say Mr. Trump and Modi combination. Somebody say in different way. But what do you say with this politically, economically, and traditionally? India and America?
Well, we have a strong relationship, America and India, right now. That relationship has been getting and will continue to grow. And the reason is we have a common economic, if nothing else, adversary in China. So India and China have a long history of being at odds, both economically and in other ways, unfortunately. And we are going to take advantage of perhaps maybe doing more business with India and outsourcing more of the things that we need and getting them from India, because we can't trust China. The only thing that we imported of any substance was COVID-19. And by the way, I remember Donald Trump and getting together, and we had a very good relationship, especially when it came to the pharmaceuticals and helping us with that. So our relationship could only get stronger because of the common potential adversary that we have with China.
So nicely, just you put your views, and so nice. Thanks to you, just to spare some time in your busy schedule for this election and just for the great bilateral relation of India and USA, and just best wishes for your party and for America for whatever after tomorrow. I hope your party should win like anything. Our best wishes to you and best wishes to our India and US relation. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Jai Bharat and Jai America.
Thank you.
Thank you.